Hello guys, in today's video we're going to talk about suicide and suicide prevention. What to do if you have a loved one, someone who you know, or you yourself personally consider suicide. What are the red flags, how to look at these red flags, and what to do so the person has a second chance and so you are if you are in that situation. First of all, you need to understand the nature of the suicide or what's happening in the person's mind, in the person's way of seeing things. If you ever heard a song by Linkin Park, in the end there is lyrics. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end it doesn't really matter. I had to fall to lose it all. In the end, it doesn't really matter. So that lyrics, that particular part explains exactly what's going on in a person's mind when he or she is making decision about committing a suicide. Typically, suicide can happen for two reasons. Number one, person went through extremely challenging, difficult situation in his or her life, and that's the next quote-unquote logical step for the person. Or the second scenario, which is much more common scenario, the person just had enough of life. There were many difficult situations, personal life, many traumatic experiences that bottle up, and now it doesn't really matter, right? Come back to the song in the end. The person, when he or she is in that in the age of either choosing to live or choosing to die, there are only one question, one phrase, one action away from making the final decision. They may get a call from someone and they may get upset, and that will be a trigger for them to finish their life, to commit suicide. Just the thought of maybe I'm not good enough, a thought that now I have one more extra problem to deal with, and that one small tiny extra problem could be a trigger for them to take that final decision. So what you want to know is, first of all, if you are in that position and you are the person who's thinking about suicide, I gotta tell you something. Do two things, actually three things, before you decide that life is over. First one, go take a shower. Take a freezing cold shower and do it like 15-20 minutes long shower. Why? Because your body's gonna go through the state of shock. Shock to the system is really good in your case. And even though you're gonna get a cold, you might have like a runny nose, it's still better than actually committing a suicide or jumping from the bridge or taking some pills, right? It's just much better option. So that's option A. Then option B, when you come back, sit down, take a pen and a paper and start writing. Start writing everything about your life, your problems, everything. As much as you can, the more details you can. Even though you don't feel like it, I don't care about it. You know what? Do it anyway. Do it for me. Don't do for anyone else, please. If you're watching the video right now, do it for me. Write it down. Every single bloody problem you have in your life, put it on a paper and make sure when you finish this paper and you put everything on it, you're gonna read this paper over and over and over again. Read it. Make yourself laugh and just say like, oh my God, is it really true? Listen to your voice and then listen, is it really true? Is it really I feel this way? Do I really feel this way? It's important. It's important for you to know what you are going through. It's important for you to analyze the depth of this pain and to see if you are really want to take that final step. The third thing here is professional help. And it might sound like I don't care anymore. Why should I try? And you gotta try. Why? Because I want you to try it for me. If you're listening to this video, there is a reason why you're listening to this video. There is a reason why you're still here. There is a reason why you are watching it. And if you're watching it, that means you have to be here. And that means you gotta talk to someone who has experience to help you. And that person has to be a therapist, it could be a clinical psychologist, someone who is trained to help you, someone who can listen to you, someone you can cry to, someone who is going to be there for you without judgment. That's so important, because even though the loved ones, they're there, if they're not trained to give a qualified help, they are not gonna do any good to you. It's just gonna dig the hole deeper and deeper. So first of all, if you took a conscious shower, if you did that exercise with the paper, writing down all the pain and start reading, hopefully crying about it, find a professional help. If you don't know how to find a professional help, call the person who you love, who you trust, and tell them what you're going through. Just tell them. Be vulnerable, be honest, tell them about the situation. Just do it, and then ask them to help you to find someone, and ask to keep confidential if that's important to you, and just go. You own yourself. That one more chance, that one more trial, just do it. And when you see the professional person, the therapist you probably gotta meet with, tell them exactly as it is. Do not hide, do not hold back. Maybe bring this paper with all the problems and just give it to them and tell, please read it, that's what I'm going through. Or cry out, like on that appointment for hours if you need to. Do whatever it takes in order to give yourself that one chance. It's very important, because if you make a decision of committing suicide and let's say you're successful, you will not be able to have a second chance. No one's going to have a second chance. People don't come back to this world, maybe besides Jesus, right? So I want you to give yourself this chance and talk to a professional person, all right? Professional therapist. So when that's done, I promise you there will be shift in your life. That will be something else that you're not aware of. You will be able to discover the blind spot and see what was holding you down for so long. And a few years down the line, a few weeks down the line, you will realize that whatever you did for yourself, it was worth it. Second thing is, if you have someone who's going through that particular experience, you want to watch out for the red flags. What are the red flags? If the person is on the rush to get all the legal documents in order, like wills and trusts and life insurance, if the person is trying to finish their life affairs, could be finish the book they're writing, could be meeting with the people who they haven't met in a long time, and then writing a card for someone's birthdays or for loved one birthdays few months ahead of time. Whatever it is, if you see like a big shift and change in person's behavior, if you see that, it's a red flag. If you see someone losing a love for life, love and desire to do things that normally would make him or her happy, that's the red flag. If you feel your loved one or your friend being overly concerned, worried, very sensitive, emotional, more like a shadow of the person who he or she used to be, that's the red flag. There are many red flags you can personally see with interacting with the person. If you see it, ask, hey, what's going on? What's up? How's everything? Whatever. Try to get in a conversation. And then if you have these concerns and you feel something is wrong, talk to someone else. Do not keep it to yourself. Talk, raise your concerns, talk to this person and see. And you can even ask the question. Ask the question. Are you, like, where are you at in life? What are you thinking about doing? What are your plans? Like, try to make them talk. Let them tell you. And then if it's not going anywhere, then maybe call the suicide prevention line and talk about what you're going through and raise your concern. Talk to someone else. But you cannot stay quiet, because you may lose this person. You want to save life, you want to be for the person, but you need to get the professional help. So try to be there for the person, but at the same time, in the back of your mind, if that's a valid reason for you to believe the person may want to consider the suicide, or the person went through a very traumatic experience, you want to bring professional help as soon as possible. Because the worst case scenario, it may not be the case, but at least you tried. But if it is the case, you may just save someone's life. So awareness is the key. It's so critically important to look for the red flags, as I mentioned earlier. Legal paperwork being done rapidly, sign like a birthday cards, any kind of a holiday cards ahead of time, saying like goodbye to people in a way by finish certain things really quickly, and losing the interest for life. There's many indicators, and of course there could be scenarios when the person just leaves the house and commits to suicide and was no signals of it. Something like that we cannot control. And I hope if that's the case, I hope that person can hopefully watch my video or maybe someone else's video, what I'm talking about, what to do, and in order to give yourself a second chance. As I said earlier, take a conscious shower, find a professional help, write down your problems, put in a paper, don't keep anything. If you have that person, tell them do not keep anything in the head. You cannot, because when you keep it in your head, it's gonna get marinated, it's gonna get worse, because when you have all these problems surrounded you, bombarding you, you don't know what the next step will be. There is no next step. The death is the easiest solution, the easiest option. And it's not what we all want, right? You might want it, but I mean, there is still possibility. And the possibility, again, comes from professional help. And last but not least here is that if you lost someone due suicide, you want to understand very important thing, which is it's not your fault. It's not. Regardless of what your conscience can tell you, you're still here in this world, the person is gone. It doesn't make sense to blame yourself, to feel guilty, because if you blame yourself, feel guilty, that's the energy you're giving to your kids. That's the energy you're giving to your parents, you're giving to your siblings, you're giving to your husband or your wife, people around you. You need to get rid of this, and you might want to talk to someone too in order to take it out, that pain, that weight, because everyone around you get affected by it. If the person committed suicide, it's not because of you. They made their own decision, and you were not there. You were not there for whatever reason. You were not there. But it wasn't because of you. It was someone else's decisions, their decisions to finish their life, whatever they decide to finish their life. It might sound harsh, but I went through that experience myself. And thank God I had a professional help. It was 5 years back. I can tell you, one person in the brink on this last age of committing a suicide, nothing else matter. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not their loved ones, not their kids, nothing matter. It just the feeling like you are in a complete darkness. There is no one around, and all your life and all the events in your life, they're like mannequins. They're like characters from the movie walking around. It's not even real. You don't feel it. So that's why it's extremely important to understand that when a person who's committing a suicide, or who actually committed the suicide, they went through many traumatic, painful experiences. They were in a very challenging, difficult place, and many of them do not know what to do. They don't know how to share. They just don't. So if they commit that and you are not aware of what was happening, you need to forgive yourself. You know why you need to forgive yourself? I'm going to tell you why you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself because you are not a therapist. You're not a clinical psychologist. You're not a doctor. You are not trained on that. You are not. You don't have that experience behind shoulders. You're not mystic. You might not be able to predict the future and see things. There's many things in life that may not make sense. And if you did not see it's happening, it's coming to you, you need to forgive yourself. I know it's tough, but why would you continue and carrying on that luggage, that heaviness, that weight on your shoulder? Why? Shoulders, why? You shouldn't. You really. I'm no one in position to tell what you should or shouldn't do, but it just makes sense to choose an option where you can drop it off this weight and forgive yourself for the sake of your loved ones, for the sake of people around you. That was a tough video, I gotta tell you. So in the end, as I said, do not try to fix yourself. Hope someone to get to the point where they can get professional help. If you're the person who goes through it, once again, take a very cold, freezing cold shower, write down your problems. If you can't find the help, talk to someone who can help you. And you need a professional who will be there for you, who's trained to listen to you. And if you lost someone due to suicide, forgive yourself. You deserve forgiveness. And not only you, everyone around you deserves you forgiving yourself. Thank you for watching the video. And if you like this video, you would like to see more on different topics videos, please subscribe to Ester Osher YouTube channel. Thank you so much.